Professor Akram here, and in this lesson we're going to be looking at game genres. Marketing analysis and psychologists have been categorizing games into mini groups, hoping to develop some sort of insight into what type of games people enjoy playing. Games can be categorized by platforms, objectives, player types, or most commonly, game genres. While categorizing games provide a common language for developers and publishers to use for describing the game, it can also restrict the creative process and lead designers towards tried and true gameplay solutions. The Entertainment Software Association ESA 2019 report cited that the most common devices or platforms for video game players among adult gamers were smartphones with 60%, PCs with 52%, and consoles coming in with 49% of the gaming population. A game genre is a classification assigned to a video game based primarily on its gameplay relating to the player's experience, primarily the challenges, choices, and consequences the player encounters in the game. The action game genre focuses on timing, reflexes, hand-eye coordination, and quick thinking to achieve a good score. The first-person shooter style of game is seen through the character's eyes as you run around trying to shoot. These games are generally fast-paced and considered part of the action game genre. These games were popularized by games such as Doom, where at the time it would be difficult for game developers to render the player character in real-time 3D. So to compensate, you would only see the player's weapon as if you were seeing through the eyes of the character. Simulation games are action games that tend to be based on real-life activities like cooking a meal, flying a plane, driving a car, or playing a sport, or hand-to-hand combat. Not all simulation games are focused on fast-paced actions. Many are often used for training and educational purposes. Strategy games focus on tactics and planning as well as the management of units and resources. In some games, your goal is to successfully build and run a city. In others, what you build and run could vary from an army to a roller coaster. Some simulation and building games can also fall into the category of strategy if strategy is the main focus of the game. Adventure games let you control the character and the environment while the story is being discovered. Most adventure games include exploration and puzzle solving. Role-playing games, RPGs, or massive multi-online role-playing games, MMORPG, are similar to adventure games, but the player's actions and choices may change the character's attributes and the story. Casual games are typically designed for all ages that are meant to be played on a whim of the player and have simple objectives and rules. Puzzle games are often considered casual games. These games are also called logic games, whereby they challenge your mind more than your reflexes. The challenges of some games do not fall nicely into game genres, such as educational games, children's games, or experimental games. One great example of an experimental game is the game Loco Roco, where the player plays as Loco Roco, acting as a blob of gelatin deforming from their normal round shape in the demand of the environment. Certain beings in the world can change to the default shape of Loco Roco into other forms, such as squares or triangles, which last until they wash off in the water or they are encountered by a similar being. While games can be categorized into many different genres and subgenres, the sales data from the ESA 2019 report highlights the sales of the best-selling super game genres, with action and shooters being the most popular. Keep in mind, though, that an action game could very well be a simulation sports game. A shooter game could also be a role-playing game, and so forth. There is a lot of overlap when it comes to trying to categorize games by objectives and genres. I hope you found this lesson informative, and don't forget to check out other lessons and tutorials on the channel. So what are you waiting for? Get creative today!